Hello everyone, Larry Satchwell here. It's that time of year. I'm going to make some spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce, just a general sauce here out of my tomatoes. I've got 3 or 4 different kinds of tomatoes in here. Some Lincoln, some big beef. That's an Abraham Lincoln right there. Some sugary, some salt and butter. I've got about 3 cups of onions roughly chopped. There's 2 red bell peppers in here and 1 green bell pepper. And these cooked yesterday for a couple of hours, so the skin's all soft, and it's time to run it through my Villaware food strainer. You want to make sure you're using stainless steel pots, because if you use aluminum pots, it will have a reaction. So all I do is put a little bit in here and start cranking. And eventually, the seeds and skins and everything will come out here, drop into there. And what I will start cooking with is going to drop in my Dutch oven down below. Has a little plunger with it. And you can start to see the waste product come out right there. Not really waste product, you can start seeing the chicken food come out right there. My Dutch oven is full, so I'm going to put the rest of it in this plastic container, and then I'll dump it back into the container I used yesterday to soften these skins. So here's a tip that my good friend Marge Helm gave me. I'm going to run these seeds and skins back through the processor again, just to make sure I get all that goodness that I can, all the pulp that I can out of that. And it won't be much, but every tablespoon helps. So I'm going to run in the house, get a spatula, and get all this goodness off of the screen. Take this pan in and rinse it out, get all the seeds out of it, and then we'll start cooking. Well, this is my puree. As you can see, it's just simmering hard here. I wouldn't call this I would call that a boil. Anyway, I'm going to start adding these ingredients. It calls for a cup of sugar, and I'll put the ingredients down below, but I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup of sugar. It also calls for 2 tablespoons of oregano, teaspoon and a half of basil leaves, so a tablespoon and a half of basil leaves. It calls for 2 cloves, and we use this minced stuff, and 1 teaspoon is supposed to be what is that? 1 teaspoon equals approximately 1 clove. So I'll put in a couple tablespoons right now. We'll give that a stir. I like it thick. It calls for 2 very clever. It calls for 2 cans, 2 4-ounce cans. Well, I'm going to start here with 2 12-ounce cans. My wife says that's a lot. She's probably right. Oh, and there's a tin in there. If I can get it. But here's the way I figure it. I can put more paste in there and as long and yield more sauce. If I can just get that in there without splashing like the last one did. There we go. So I'm going to let this simmer up here for about an hour. It's not sticking on the bottom. You don't want to burn the bottom, that's for sure. So you've got to stir it every once in a while. And I'm going to let that paste and all this brew in here for a while and come back and check it and see if it's ready to can. So we're ready to can. I put in additional, what you didn't see, 2 tablespoons of salt, another 1/4 cup of sugar, and I used a total of 6 12-ounce tomato paste cans. And we've both tasted it, we're both really happy with it, so it's ready to can. So to make sure I have acidity in these jars, I'm going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice in each one of these jars. These jars have been washed and sterilized. I've got my caps warming up. I've got the water on the canner going. And I thought it would just be easier to put this lemon in first. That way I know it's there. This is in case there's just not enough acidity in the tomatoes. This will ensure it'll have a little longer shelf life. Let the fun begin. So this has been an all-day project, and you can expect that. You want to leave some head space, not too much, about a 1/2 inch, about a 1/2 inch is fine. So it looks like it's going to take about 1 scoop, maybe a little bit more, or a full scoop. These are going to go in the water bath for, once it's boiling, back to boiling, about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And when it's all finished here, I'll let you know what we came up with. I'll use a teaspoon here and kind of even these out. This one needs a little more, that one needs a little less. Same with here. And then I use a little magnet deal. There's actually 2 lids right there. You want to make sure the top of these jars are really clean. Working space here. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. Especially that water that gets caught in between there. The next step is to put a canning ring on here and tighten that down pretty tight. You don't want it to leak in the canner. Just trying to get myself some more space here. So that's the procedure. These are 1/2 pints. This will make a nice large pizza. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. When I go to get it in the canner, I'll show you what that looks like. So I've got some pints and some 1/2 pints. You want to make sure it's level. And then I've got a little insert that can go on top here. And I'll put some more 1/2 pints on top of it and let it come to a boil. Keep it in there about 20 minutes. So all in all, it's going to be in there about a 1/2 an hour. So this is what the second layer looks like. You want at least an inch of water over the top of those. And right now I've got a couple inches, but it's going to boil. It's going to boil away. So here are the results. 10 pints, just short of 5 dozen half pints. I think it's one of the best batches I've made. Should last us and my friends for at least a year. I ended up finishing this about 9:30 last night. I left each batch in the boiler about 20 minutes. Your results may vary. Canning can be dangerous. Make sure that each one of them seals. You'll hear that little pop at the end. Good luck. Thanks for watching.